What's up, e-bikers? Got a special episode today for you on Crisscross. I brought together a few of my favorite e-bike YouTubers to recap the year in e-bikes for 2025. Joining me today are one of my Connecticut buddies, Tyler from Tyler's Trail Rides. Hey, Tyler.
Hey, how's it
Peace out.
going?
We got Scott Hardesty from Chicago, of course.
Yes,
Scotty.
sir.
And Matt down in Florida from Electric All Wheel. What's up, Matty?
I don't need this jacket. I'm just here for
Take that
show.
jacket off. Put your shorts on.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about e-bikes reviewed this year, talk about our best and worst, some about the biggest trends in the space I think we've seen so far. We'll talk about e-bike market predictions and what's your first video going into next year and stuff like that. So guys, thanks for joining us today. We're supposed to be joined by Alex from Maximum Charge. He has a migraine, so he had to bow out. And also Mike from Electric Revolution could not be here as well. So we'll have to pick up the slack, guys. What do you think?
We got
Can
this.
do.
We have
Do what we
plenty to,
can.
I think we have plenty to talk about. So let's start with each of you guys. Matt, we'll start with you since you're my left first. How many e-bikes did you look at this year?
It's a hard question for me to answer because I also get to touch what runs through the shop. So I don't know, to be honest. Typically, every bike that I touch, there's 2 to 3 videos associated. One where I compulsively get in and look at the controller and do things, trying to incorporate the live. So the best way to know is to maybe count the total videos, divide by 3, but know that I've probably done work on 3 to 4 times that much out of the shop. We just don't record it.
How many videos, do you know how many videos you did this year overall?
I stopped counting. Like my total count is over 700, but I was horrendous, very horrendous in the beginning. Like the audio was awful, and those that stuck around, finally saw me pick up microphones and do the thing. So if I had been more attuned to it, I think the channel would be better, and more broad in terms of a audience growth. But I don't put out anywhere near that frequency. It's at max of the past few months, 2 videos a week, and they're long form. So
Yeah. Well, I counted 47. What about you, Scott? How many did you do?
I have done 96 videos so far this year. I've reviewed 54 e-bikes. I mean, obviously that didn't count the lives or the shorts.
Scott loves
Gotcha.
shorts. He loves doing shorts.
I do not.
Tyler, how about you? How many did you do?
So including ones that I kind of borrowed from the day from other content creators, I did 22 e-bikes and 2 gas-powered bikes. So,
Nice.
um,
I just saw your
wide
mini,
variety.
I just saw your mini Jeep video you bought. That thing's crazy.
Yeah, that thing's
I thought you
super
were gonna like
fun. I
crash into
want
a
to do
telephone pole or something.
hmm?
I thought you were gonna crash into like a telephone pole or something when you were drifting there.
No, it's honestly super easy to control. It's not that fast, and it's rear-wheel drive, so you can get the back end out. It's a good time. I want to do like a long range camping trip in that. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, he bought
I
this
need to
like
get a hold of that hoodie. What's going on
Hmm?
there? What does that thing say?
Oh, I'm just kind of prototyping some merch for my channel. I kind of made this logo for like the custom e-bike stuff,
yes.
and then it's got the name on the side, and it's got like a little logo on the back and stuff, but still work in progress. Nothing out that people could buy yet, but just trying to get an idea of what I want to do.
I
Gotcha.
like it.
All right, best and worst e-bikes from the year, guys. Scott,
Oh, hang on,
yeah.
Chris. How many have you reviewed this year? How many videos have you put out?
Oh, I said I did 47 bikes. I don't know
Oh,
how many.
that's right. You did. You did. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, 47. So that's about, I think I did 7 or 8 more than I did the previous year overall. So yeah, it's increasing every year. I already got like, I think 5 lined up for January and February. So it's off to a quick start. Um, but let's talk best and worst e-bikes, guys. So Scott, what was your best? What was your worst from the year, do you think?
Oh, which category? That's the thing. I mean, I
Yeah.
review so many different categories that I'm literally working on my best and worst of the year video because I've been putting those out for like, well, 2 years now. Um, my favorite would be the Segway Cyber for the motorcycle type. Um, my Adventure 3, I mean, that's one of those kind of bikes for the fat 26-inch fat tire bikes that I will not get rid of unless they come up with a new version of it, right? And then in commuter, the Discover 2, I still think is the best commuter e-bike um, so far, which is kind of funny because out of I think I reviewed like 12 different commuter e-bikes. I don't know, I have it all down in the list there. And I still, the Discover 2, the Velotric Discover 2 is another one of those bikes that I won't get rid of unless they come out with a new version of it.
Worst?
All right, so I would say, yeah, oddly enough, the Utopia had I consider it the worst only because it had that dot matrix display on it.
That's
And
that. That's the
that,
which model is that? Because
it was the AI one. I think I had the Carbon Pro step through, I think. But the video that the next review that's coming out is on the Utopia Carbon Classic, and that is totally different from the one I reviewed. Like that is a very, very nice bike. And the Utopia was good, but I just did not like that display at all.
yeah, I
Or
hated that display when I first saw that bike. Their Fusion Pro, which is their kind of like U-shaped one step down,
yeah,
it's a really
yeah,
nice bike actually. That made my favorites list this year. One of my neighbors actually saw it. He bought it off me. He liked it so much, and
yeah.
been commuting with it. But yeah, they've definitely improved on their original designs with that stupid talking head headset there they had.
Yeah. I mean, it was like it would throw me off, right? I'm like, I don't need to talk to you, or
Yeah.
or it would make those crazy sound effects, and then it also did the vibration thing too, and I'm like, you know,
Mhm.
this is not an iPhone. Like I don't need any of that. So
Too
yeah,
much tech.
when they reached out to me to review another one, I said, I don't want to do it. Your displays are the worst that I want. And they're like, hang on, champ. We have changed over the displays, and now I really, really like the display that they are putting on the bikes now. It's super nice.
Yep. All right, Matt, what about your best and worst?
Uh, Categorically, I mean, I'm just gonna roll right up into the 72 volt class, Magician Alpha, hands down. I can't speak enough good stuff about the bike, and I still have yet to do the OTA. Um, yeah, it's close to the Ranger from Escape, but it's not some deal breaking situation. I'm just 6'2" and I like a 26er, and that's where it's at. So the worst, Apis F3. I don't know how you can miss the mark on mass produced speedometer and then just not even acknowledge it. I just it blows me away. And I want to say Apis is a company, but there's the hope that they're going to turn around, especially from their frame fractures, the battery situation. But I don't want a display that tells me I'm doing 32 when the bike caps at 28. And the reality is, that can be tested now. It's, we're not in a peak COVID era of having trash on the market, and they should just do better or fix it. And they're not doing either.
All right, fair enough. Tyler, what do you got?
So all of my favorite bikes are always my custom ones I build, but as far as like an out of the box one that I would say is my favorite bike, it has to be the Escape Ranger. I'm a shorter rider and 72 volts is just the best, you know? You got plenty of power, you got a ton of battery, full suspension, it's comfortable, the right size. That thing ticks all the boxes I want from like a fast out of the box e-bike. And for the worst one, I don't even want to say the company because I didn't even end up making a video on it. But I got sent a 36-volt moped style bike that had a single chain, like a single gear in the back. So it was terrible for pedaling and it struggled to do 20 miles an hour on throttle. So yeah, that was by far the worst one I've ever reviewed or ridden, period.
Yeah. All right. Mine were I think I got two favorites or two best for me was the Escape Ranger like you and also the long range Testway X7s. I got both the all-wheel drive and the rear wheel drive, so I really like that bike. Um, the looks, the long range, and I'm more about range I think than speed overall, but Those are my two favorites. My worst was I just got this one too. I just did the video on it, which is the Pucky Puppy Doberman. So it shows up. It says Class 2 on the frame. I'm looking around for the throttle. I can't find a throttle. And so I contacted Pucky Puppy, and they're like, "Yeah, it's supposed to be a Class 1, even though the website says Class 2 and the bike says Class 2." So I'm giving them a ding for that one. But Pucky Puppy was, I think, the most prevalent brand of the year overall. What do you guys think? I mean, their bikes are everywhere now, it seemed like.
Yeah,
I'd,
I just finished reviewing one of them, the Golden R Pro. It did come with a throttle.
Yeah. They've had like 17 or 18 bikes on the market now. It's ridiculous how many they have. Seems
how are
like
you
they're.
liking the test way? Like, are they gonna rise up to be a competitor to the
So
Velotric electric
I did have one problem
level?
with the battery. They sent me a new battery, that giant 60 amp hour. It was shutting down on me. So they acknowledged it. They ordered a bunch of new batteries. They shipped them in, and they sent me the new battery, and it works just fine now. So that's the one issue I have with it. But I like the overall looks of it. I think it just looks better than the Aniyogis and the Walkies and the Eohoras and stuff like that, which I've ridden too. But I think it's a cool looking bike, and I like the styling of it overall. The trends I thought were three things: or 72 volt e-bikes, the e-bike laws, and e-bike companies going out of business. Where do you guys want to start with that?
I think that the 72-volt discussion and e-bike laws could kind of be grouped together because a lot of that goes hand in hand, I think.
Is
I
72
could,
volts enough e-bike? I mean, are we done at that point? I mean, it doesn't seem like we need any more speed than that. What do you guys think?
it depends what you're into. So as far as like pedal e-bikes, I really feel like 60 to 72 volt is plenty of power for like your hub motor pedal bikes. When you get into like e-motos slash electric motorcycles, from the moped to the full motorcycle class, I can see the higher voltage stuff just because you get more efficiency and you can kind of push more power without building up as much heat. But yeah, I think we're kind of at the point where the voltages are where they need to be.
Yeah, I can't see him going, I mean, I think Onyx has an 80 volt one or something like that, but at that point, it's just a motorcycle, in
Hmm.
my opinion. But um, as far
72. It was always meant to be there, right?
yeah,
And it's the step off from the majority voltage for the e-moto class too. And with 72, it is right at the edge of frame durability where you have to build out something that just structurally doesn't even resemble what might be considered a classic bike. And given the state of regulation, it's, you know,
mm,
necessary to at least maintain the optics. I'll fight the semantics of what 750 watts really means all day long from anybody. Like, even if it was Micah Toll and he took a turn, I'd be like, this is ridiculous. But the rulings are just, they were written by people that don't understand, obviously don't ride the bikes, and don't ride the bikes for purpose. And
yeah.
so that seems to be the way. But I
I
think
contacted
72
you.
volts is the cap,
Yeah.
should be.
I pinged you a couple months ago. I saw something on the news. They're confiscating bikes in, I think it was Tampa or somewhere. Do you remember that?
Mhm. Yeah.
What was the rule around that? Tell me more about the rules down there in Florida.
So it was a riding group, and the major attractor was the Emoto style, but it was more or less all of the EUCs, so electric unicycles, as well as one wheels, believe it or not, high powered scooters and Emotos they all got ticketed, every one of them.
They got
So
ticketed. They didn't get taken, the bikes.
no, I don't believe they impounded anything, but they did ticket every one of them, and the disperse order was given. The thing is the group had existed for a very long time, and St. Pete Police Department had come through, and they would be there at the beginning of the rides and just be like, listen, be civil, just look after it. And then as the media surrounding it escalated, typically what you're seeing is, they just put e-bike in a headline, and it just immediately goes to negativity in terms of e-bikes, but it's just the next hot thing. The society did this stuff to snowboarders back in the day. So, it was the heathens on the hill. These thugs are riding these snowboards and they're out of control, and but that's not the case. It's just e-bikes brought people out that were not normally in that space, to be able to use the public funds that you've paid into on public rail trails, for instance, and otherwise you wouldn't have been there, and you're on an e-bike now. There's a heck of a lot more people in that circumstance than there are those that are causing the problems. And even still, I would contend that the vehicle situation and the infrastructure problem is the biggest culprit in all this. So I think society is targeting the wrong thing. Don't get me wrong, the wheelie kids have got to stop, playing games of chicken and doing the craziness. But if you're not breaking the law in terms of speed, if you're cognizant of what's going on around you and you're being safe and you're participating in a way that's possible and good for everyone involved, uh, who's going to be able to mathematically calculate what 72 volts is or what 750 watts is at any given time, especially
Yes,
when the road racers are running by you at 24 miles an hour?
exactly. Scott, any pushback in Chicago on some of this stuff? What are you seeing there?
Um, no. See, when you have this many people here in Chicago using so many different ways to commute, right? There's been many times that, and I've even pulled up next to a group of police officers on my Segway Cyber, which straight up looks like a motorcycle, right? Now, I'm not foolish. I pedaled as I walked, as I pulled up to him, and I asked him, I'm like, "Hey, what do you guys, think about like bikes like this, or the Surons and stuff like that, and the Talarias and stuff?" And they were like, "Look, as long as people don't act a fool, then we don't care." Right? Because I mean, there's so many different brands out there, so many different styles, um, that they don't care whether it's 72 or whatever. Now I'm trying to think. There's a what are those little Groms? Those little Honda Grom motorcycles. They're little bitty stubby ones, I think is what they. There is a pack of those guys that that are out. They're not fans of them, but those are all gas powered. There is also
Yeah.
there's a pretty big PEV group here. So you have the electric unicycles, you have the guys on the Talarias and the Surons, all the bikes that go fast. A lot of not one wheels can't keep up, but it's a lot of those electric unicycle things and fast bikes. There's a huge group of those guys. Nobody gives them any beef either. So, I think it really just comes down to whether you're riding a 36-volt bike or a 72-volt bike. If you're not acting a fool, they're not going to mess with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd like to add one more thing onto that. And there's a time and a place for all of these different bikes, because like out where I live, at least with the new Connecticut e-bike laws, I find that there's a really strong distinction whether what something's an e-bike or like a moped. And I don't know, I just feel like they need to be, if you have a fast bike and you're going onto like a rail trail, a lot of it's just the respect of it. When you're going past people, you don't endanger them, you don't scare them. And if you stick to that, most of the fast e-bikes don't have problems. And with Connecticut making it so 3,500 watts, I believe, is legally classified the same as a 49cc moped. Um, Street legality has never been like better for Connecticut residents on electric bikes. Obviously, a lot of them are above that threshold, but like there's no real way for them to be able to like dyno it on the street. So as long as you're not doing crazy speeds and you're acting respectful on the road, not wheeling and stuff, it just you need to be more careful with like where you're riding and how you're doing it, I guess.
Yeah. In Europe, they have the cops have those dinos, which is pretty crazy. I mean, they
Yeah,
like,
luckily we don't have those yet.
yeah, like they're so strict about e-bikes over there. It's ridiculous. That's crazy. Let's
Yeah.
talk about the e-bike companies going out of business this year. We lost a lot of companies. One that surprised me a lot was the electric bike company out of California. which they made their bikes in-house there. And I was watching EVR's podcast about this. They were talking about the tariffs and how the owner of Electric Bike Company, that guy Sean, was actually a proponent of getting more tariffs in place. And it's ironic that he's now out of business, essentially because of the tariffs, because of, I guess, the ports and stuff like that he had. So I thought that was interesting. Rad just went under bankruptcy protection. We lost a bunch of other e-bike companies this year, but it seems like there's plenty of new ones to come up and take their place, right, guys?
I have strong
Yep.
thoughts about this. I don't know where.
Go ahead, Matt, unleash.
Oh
um,
boy, you did it now.
Electric Bike Company performed a partnership merger before all of this went down. And at the time, it seemed as if it was more technology driven with the company they were partnering with. Electric Bike Company was there. The
It was Pedigo, wasn't it? They tried to.
no, it started with a P. Hold please. Anyway, they they have this partner. They do the merger. There's supposed to be a cash infusion, right? And you're talking within less than a year, you're into bankruptcy. Now, this is personal speculation, but you have to wonder why suddenly and in such a close vicinity of time. And it's not the tariffs, because the tariffs didn't take hold unless he had zero stock at the time and was doing mass orders straight off the bat and then got caught in the 120% tariff time, of that ridiculous moment. There is no possible way that's what drags you down. So I suspect that move was more to write off debt than anything else, transfer of knowledge into the next company, and then wait for liquidation to get beyond the court orders, and then he will be back. That's my thought.
Yeah. He had a couple of problems, I think, which was one, he sold the same frame in just different versions, essentially.
Yeah.
Part of their bikes was that you had to basically unlock it every time you wanted to use the damn thing, and click on these accepting things, for disclaimers and shit like that. Totally annoying. I would never buy a bike like that, and I think that was part of his downfall as well.
Yes. The concept on the TV, right? So what they would do
I love
for
the
micro
idea of it all,
dealership, yeah.
making them in California there, and all with American workers and stuff. But at the end of the day, you just didn't have. I think the product itself was a big part of the downfall.
So they had those TVs where it was an interactive experience
Yeah, you
to
can
build
customize
your
it.
bike. Yeah. And so you go up and you touch all your parts and pieces. If you went into a dealership, they'd have a few show models, probably not the crazy custom coloration you could get. And then, they branched out with the multi battery and the basket, the rear rack, on frame. It's just, I think they did well enough. I just think there's more to it than the notion of the business as it relates to e-bikes. That's my 2 cents.
Scott, you gonna miss any of the former companies?
Uh, no, I mean, well, we all feel like Dave Cleveland started that
Oh
that
yeah,
that ball rolling,
I forgot about
right?
that. There's been so
Yeah,
many.
I know, but I mean, I feel like when it came to it, like that was the first, and then they all just
Yeah,
started falling like dominoes, all using the same excuse basically. But you know, I was surprised with Rad, to be honest. I mean, I reviewed one of their bikes. I could see, I mean, I'm like, okay, you guys either need to make some changes to keep up, right? Because, they would have those 750-watt motors and they're locked at 750 watts. And I'm like, okay, they were loud. That was the loudest e-bike I owned, right?
Mhm.
It was the Rad Runner 3. That thing was so loud. And, but I mean, I thought they had such a following, like they were so huge that to me at the time when I started getting into this, they were like as big as Lectric was, in my eyes, or at least it seemed like that
they were the
because
biggest. Yeah, at one point they were
yeah,
number one.
yeah, because everywhere I would go, I would see, electric bikes and rad power bikes. And then just to see like, someone that big just kind of topple. But then when I looked at it, they're like, oh, well, they're still gonna they're still going to continue business as normal. That's what I read a story on it, and to my understanding, they're still going to continue on with business, but they're not going to refund anybody. They're not going to do anything about the batteries that catch on fire. It's just kind of like, well, it is what it is. Good luck. And doing that and still trying to move forward, nobody's going to buy their stuff.
Yeah, I mean the news is out now, so it's like they're in a tough spot. They still have a ton of inventory, I guess. So they're trying to sell them all, but like who's gonna trust it? Who's gonna trust them to buy an e-bike from them?
Yeah, I mean, just the battery alone, nobody's going to want to. I mean,
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. Everybody's worried about their e-bike catching
yeah. I
on
think it's
fire.
the older batteries that the whole recall was about. I believe the newer ones I think are fine, but it's the older batteries, I guess, that the complaints came from.
Yeah, they still have to get over that stigma, though, right?
Yeah,
Nobody, how do we know that the ones that they have now aren't going to be fine in the future? And that's the big thing that freaks people out.
yeah. I always thought too their bikes are too expensive too. I mean, if they're going to be a big volume player, they need to have lower prices like Lectric. Because Lectric basically I call it the Lectric Effect. And they basically have played a part in some of these companies' downfalls as well, with because the bikes they sell for less. There's just no way around it. So, like
Yeah.
I thought the Rad Runner Max is their nicest e-bike that they have, but at $2,200 or whatever it is, like no one's gonna buy that because you can buy a similar bike for half the cost essentially. So that's another part of their problem as well.
Well, I'm not saying everybody, but like the big companies like Event and Velotric, like I've talked with them and they were like, yeah, we can't do what Lectric does. Right. But so then what they do is they, put better components on it, have all these security features, things like that to differentiate it to make to make it worth the additional money. But bravo for Electric to, to just
Mhm.
put everybody in their place and be like, all right,
Yep.
this is what you got to be. Good luck.
Yeah. So you saw a lot of that, in the last couple of years, just the prices coming down and people trying to match what Electric has from just a feature standpoint.
Integral was the name of the company.
Well,
Integral e-bikes is who partnered with Electric Bike Company.
okay. Well, RIP EBC. So,
I reviewed one of their bikes. They sent me a $5,000 custom built cruiser. And then I got
EBC.
to
Yeah.
design it myself. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I did the Model J from them. They shipped it in that with the special
Ye-
service and they come to your house and
Yeah,
pull
it's on
it
a
up.
pallet.
Yeah.
My
Expensive.
mine is a Model C, and I got it out of a front yard trash pile and fixed all of the cabling and then sent the battery, the retractable cord. I always like that part. I was like plug it in like a vacuum cleaner. But sent the rear rack battery in, and they replaced it under warranty. So I was all in like $400 for a EBC Model C.
Nice.
Yeah.
Um, we saw a lot of we're seeing a lot more like smart features now in e-bikes. Like I think one came with like I think that Blix came with like with an AI shifting thing, which I thought was bullshit. But GPS tracking, app integration. What do you guys think about all this new tech coming into these e-bikes here? Is it just fluff, or do you like those features?
I like the only like tech features I want to see on my bike are a way to tune it myself. Like if you have an app that connects, let me have sliders to
Yeah,
tune
like with the
the
Bafang app.
wattages and the torque and all that stuff. Like my CYC bike that I built is way overpowered, but like the app that comes with it lets you tune all of your throttle settings and torque sensors and all that stuff. I hate having an app that's just there to connect to it. I don't want to download an app. I don't care about smart features. I would much rather have a company invest that money into, let's say, like four piston hydraulic brakes or a bigger battery or a higher output controller, something like that. I personally don't need a ton of tech on my bikes, and I just prefer them to focus on the actual riding experience rather than gimmicks.
Well said.
Scott, Tyler just called your event a gimmick. What do you say?
I would say that he's never ridden one or
Oh,
reviewed it. That's what I would have to say. But You can ride
Bikes.
tune. Yeah, you can ride tune the. I mean, there's a lot of different bikes that I haven't reviewed. I don't do any e-motos or anything like that. That's why Chris brought us all together. We're all like, we all review different kind of stuff with crossovers to the same thing. But I felt that when Aventon came out, well, first of all, let's understand something. I live in Chicago. I don't live in a suburb of Chicago. I am in the city. And then 95 to 99% of all errands I run, I do on a bike, which means I am hooking it to a bike rack daily, multiple times a day, things like that. So one of my favorite things about the Aventon line that they have with the ACU, which is the event control unit, is that when I lock it to the bike rack, I can lock the hub on it, which means now if somebody tries to steal it, now they're going to have to carry it away. So first they got to cut the lock, and now they have to carry that bike away, and that's 77 pounds. So nobody's going to want to do that. Plus, I can geofence it, making it to where that bike will not provide you any assist throughout the entire city of Chicago, and I can track it anywhere it goes. So for me, I I'm a huge fan of that because at least I know that if my bike isn't there when I get out, oh, I can find you. I can find where it is, and it's gonna be nothing but a giant paperweight paperweight because of that. Plus, you can ride tune it, so you can adjust how the bike performs. If you have the Adventure M, guess what? That bike is fully automatic. They figured out the servos. It will shift for you. You can tell it how much amount of torque that you have in each level that you have it in. Like you can basically control the entire thing. So for somebody that lives in a big city, I could see where it's not going to be that important if you're living like in a small town or big suburbs or something like that. But for living in such a huge city, these security features to me that I didn't know that I needed, now that I have them, are very important.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a great feature. I think they're the most technical e-bike on the market, and that you just nailed it, Scott. There, that's the best feature. And
Well, Segway as well.
oh, okay.
Because
It's a
Segway,
whole other level. Not even the
yeah,
same thing. Not in the
is
same
that
ballpark. Don't pay the same taxes. Not anywhere near it. That
my
Segway is
Segway, yeah.
something else.
My Segway saved 20 of my bikes from being stolen because the thieves
Oh
moved
yeah, I
it.
saw that video.
Yeah, they moved it first and it notified my phone, which allowed me to come there and shut that whole thing down.
Forget, they caught the guys, right?
He caught him. He caught him. Like what the hell?
Well, there was like four guys. They ended up catching. Well, there's four guys that were in the process of doing the stealing part, and then you had one, the driver in the U-Haul, which was a female. Um, they snatched her up. The three guys took off. They caught one of them, identified him, and then the other guy they found on the third floor, who actually knew who I was, and I believe that that was the guy that.
Oh, he was the insider.
Yeah, yeah. So, but here's the thing: it's Chicago, and I'm pretty sure that nothing has happened to any of those guys.
I want to say, Tyler, I agree with you with all the stuff. I'm all about controller motor, riding parameters, and then all of the accessories. I debate with Scott regularly about this. I don't necessarily care for all the integration with the phone. Those things are going to happen, I'd like for them to be like a hardware specific scenario. I think the near frequency cards are a good attempt at that, but it's not really convenient. It's like having on a credit card you got to hold, which takes you right back to your phone. So I like all the variability of, let's say, the wired user interface, right? I can control every daggum parameter I want, but I don't want it having the possibility of a firmware update can brick my bike. Like that I can't stand that idea. And Scott, I will never ever forget when Aventon surprised their entire customer base by doing a firmware update and just limiting bike speed just on their own, didn't no warning, it just happened. And if
Yeah.
you were one that took the advice to update because you saw, oh, there's a new application, well, they firmware updated your bike and that was the end of it.
Was that this year?
No, it's
last year.
23.
Last
Yeah,
year. Okay.
Yeah,
23,
they
24.
the Adventure one could do like 32 miles an hour. And then after the firmware update, they only did 28 and people were not, dude, they were pissed. Right now, I don't look, I'm not a speed demon, right? Like, I mean, because there's just too many people in this city, right? I mean, and I have
You can
tons
go
of
fast in
stop
the city. It's
signs.
just inherently
Yeah.
built in there.
Yeah. I mean, 30 miles an hour is like, if I want to ride in traffic, I have to be on a bike that can do 30 miles an hour. Um, so yeah, to me, it really didn't matter. But for a lot of other people, they were like, I'm like, I get it. They're trying to match the regulations. But like Matt said, it's like, look, they've just taken over your bike and chose how you're going to write it.
Yeah.
And they did end up stepping back and fixing that. It took after everyone bitched, they were like, "Uh-oh, we messed up." And they did go back and like undo whatever they did in another firmware update.
Yeah.
Yeah, the worst one I saw was the not the worst. Another bad one was Bike and throttle integration. So they separated their the tethering is what the common term is now, where the throttle's tethered to the PAS selections. But when that was turned off, instead of it um, allowing full throttle on every PAS, it unlocked each PAS level. So PAS one would go up to the top speed of the bike, and that was 28 plus. And so that was just absolutely nuts. And it took them over a year to get it right. I never saw a Bike again after the Mars 2 until the Ranger S, and they had finally fixed it and sent it out to me.
Yeah. The Ranger S 3.0
No, not even 3. It was the Ranger S 1000.
with the mag wheels.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, they I do have the Ranger S 2.0.
I got the
So,
three. That was one.
well, yeah, I had but they don't call it the Ranger S. They call it the Ranger 3.0 Pro
Yeah, something
or
like it.
Yeah.
Ranger Pro 3.0 or something like that. So, I do have the S. I'm excited to review it, but then which is funny because they only sell it at Best Buy. It only comes in one color, matte
Hmm.
black with white walls
Buy
on it.
a bike at Best Buy.
Yeah.
I didn't know
And
that.
you can only get the Ranger S 2.0 at Best Buy.
Probably just that's the inventory they gave Best Buy, probably.
I don't know, but it looks great.
I've never seen my local Best Buy doesn't have any e-bikes in there. Do you do yours?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. They have a lot or just a few?
They sell Utopia, Haybike,
No,
Lectric, Aventon. So
I've only seen e-bikes at Bass Pro Shops.
Quiet Cat.
Kohl's had one and over the last Christmas, I remember from Go Tracks. All right, guys, let's talk about predictions for 2026. So give me one prediction about the e-bike market or e-bike that you want to see in next year. Scott, Scott, start with you.
No, don't start with me. I got to think about it.
All right. Matt, let's start with you.
E-bikes in 2026. Well, everybody's gonna, Tyler, I'm gonna steal your words, gimmick, and roll down that line. Your trendsetters typically Velotric, Lectric, Aventon for major mass market. Then your e-motos, Talaria, E-Ride, and Suron. And you're gonna go down that path for the automatic wheelie controllers are going to be popular in e-moto, I would imagine. You'll see it, if not stagnate, but a nice peak out at 72 when you cross the boundaries between e-moto and regular. There's just really no reason. Getting an 80-volt bike is kind of like going and picking up the off-brand cordless drill that has the 22.2 or whatever, voltage. It's like, why doesn't this fit anything else? But that's off topic. Uh, what I'd like to see is that the companies become more vested in regulation and lobbying for proper regulation with that. But that's not exactly tied to the bikes themselves. Um,
Well, one of my questions was e-bike companies need to blank in 2026. That's a good entry for that one there.
yeah,
Uh,
they need to get involved.
yeah.
But for those that are already on the line for class 1, 2, 3, there's no incentive, I think, for them to jump in, because so long as we maintain the classifications, then the majors are going to be okay, right? Your small guys that are trying to appeal to those that want the opportunity to have the full capabilities of their bike. It's not that they're saying, the owners are saying, I am going to willingly break the law, but there are a lot of circumstances in which you need the power, and it doesn't mean that you're trying to blaze a trail on a, break the speed limit at 20. It is to say you need to keep pace with traffic in a moment. You need to be able to power up a hill at a certain weight, and a lot of these bikes don't have that capability when tuned down. What's funny is the components for the majors are actually components that can sustain higher voltage and higher current. Right? And you see some of this play out with Ariel Rider, actually, the way they class the motors, but its peak capabilities are typically it's just under double. But for them, it's like, you're looking at triple on the classification of the motor, and it's like, okay, which way is that? And you can look at the choice between 60 and 52. 52 more acceptable because it's closer to 48, and that's the normalcy. The rest of the market's like, why did you go that route? Um, and then you look at the motor, and it's like, well, if it's 750-watt capped at 28, well, you can unlock that thing, and who knows? The last Kepler was a mid 30s, so I can imagine that it's going to be something along those lines.
Speaking of Kepler, new bike just launched from them. Let's talk about it real quick. Two batteries, I guess at 35 amp hours, Tyler, right? You said on that text.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at earlier.
I
It's
have it.
28 miles an hour, so it's a class 3 e-bike now. That my old Kepler used to go like 34, 35. So
Yeah.
that's gone. That was a 1000 watt. This is a 750. What do you guys think? What are your initial reactions here?
I
Well, I
think it's a little too late. Think it's probably gonna be a good bike. I just have a hard time recommending anything that's not full suspension in that kind of price range at this point. Just because there's so much competition in the market. And like, just to throw this out here, my very first e-bike was a Juice Rip Racer, which is a 52 volt, 750-watt bike. And I paid like 730 bucks for that bike brand new. And it did like 31, 32 miles an hour. So that was a couple of years ago now.
I do give them
So
credit though for putting 24-inch tires on this thing, which is one of my wish list items for next year. Like, we need more 24-inch bikes overall.
that is true.
Yeah,
I
but
haven't tried
24 on a
24
narrow
yet.
frame, no step through, bulk body. Uh, you've got the dual crown forks, which is just overkill for a hardtail
Yeah.
at $2,000. Is there shipping? Is shipping included like the last time, or is it?
Let's see here. I'll add to cart. Let's see. Taxes and shipping calculated at checkout. So,
you could use my discount code. No, okay. All right.
um,
Send it here.
there's
You
probably
guys can't ride now anyway because of the
shipping.
weather.
Anyway, I'm not gonna fill it.
So I think out of all of us, I'm the only one who actually has this bike.
You
Um,
do.
I, I do, and it's the
Oh,
green and black one. So which kind of continues on with the Ariel Rider Government Edition that Tim
yeah.
from Shoot the Shit
Doesn't say
likes
60
to.
volts.
Yeah.
It's not 60 volts.
But yeah, somebody thought a 60-volt sign said GOV for government. Um, and then thought we were ICE agents. But the when I look at it, I'm like, okay, you got four piston hydraulic brakes, you have dual batteries.
Yep.
That bike will go mid 30s.
How heavy is it?
I know what they're saying. Well, they're saying it's under it like 75. I'm assuming
75 pounds with two batteries like that?
it's not. It's super.
It's got
Maybe I'm assuming with that little dash that
590. Yeah.
75 pounds, maybe without the batteries in it.
Yeah. Okay. So it's got to be more
Um,
pounds.
I haven't. It's still at the bike shop. They were putting flat out in the tires, so I haven't. I pick it up tomorrow. But um, when you consider that, you get the four piston hydraulic brakes, you have the dual batteries, and yeah, it's a hardtail. I get that. It has turn signals on the front and rear, and it goes 30 plus miles an hour. At the same price, you can get an Avington Adventure. So I'm just like, okay. I feel like they've come out swinging. Now, not everybody's going to dig the frame. I mean, I think it looks unique. I don't hate it. I don't love. I mean, I think overall the bike looks pretty cool, especially the green and black one.
Yeah, I
But
like
I'm
the design of it. It looks nice. It's a unique frame style. And it should have pretty good range on there.
yeah, and they just released it. They didn't tell me when they released it. Of course, it wouldn't matter. I mean, I just got the bike, so I haven't even had time to review it myself.
Came out
I'm
like
hope,
yesterday, I think, or something.
yeah, I'm hoping to get it reviewed between Christmas and New Year's. But I
Free
also,
shipping is what it says.
Free
all right.
shipping.
So see, you
Hmm.
can't. That's
All
I
right.
mean,
I'm gonna scale it back. I
for the
am.
features that it offers at that price. I mean, I think it's going to be a really good bike. Plus, it switches between torque and cadence sensor. You know, I don't know about the security features. Like I said, I haven't got all the specs on this thing. I mean, I was writing them. I sent some questions off to Ariel Rider because I always end up having to pull up more information than what the website shows. So, I mean, that's what I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be a. I like the dual battery thing for sure.
Yeah, you get two chargers, it says.
Yeah. Yeah, it did come with two chargers, has the suspension seat post on it, which is stock. Um, which is not something, I mean, Velotric offers that on their Nomad too, but the battery, which is about the same price, but the battery is only like a 15 amp hours. And here you get 35 amp hours at 52 volts.
Yeah.
Turn signals on the front and back. So, and I think the rear, where are my notes at? I think the rear, I don't even know where my notes are at on this thing. But the rack, I think, holds 100 pounds.
Hmm. It's a mic rack too, HD rating.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. I found my notes. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. It holds 70 pounds. I don't want to be wrong. Here's what I don't know. What the IPX rating is on that bike. Um,
It's just so far away from what it was.
So they
It's
compare it
so
to the
far.
Velotric Nomad 2 and the Event and Adventure 3 on the website here.
um,
Range gap.
yeah. I don't know the IPX rating. I don't know. I'm pretty sure, I bet you, because it just came out, that the UL certifications are not there yet
Yeah, they're saying 54 miles throttle only on the Kepler,
at
I
doing
20.
mean,
miles an hour.
you know how many like the investment it would take to get UL cert on that, and like I'm skeptical about unit sales, like this whole number of unit sales. Also, I know this is petty, but Chris, like the rear rack on Kepler One was the best part about that. Don't I
I,
mean
I hated that rack because it was too long. I couldn't get my leg over
it's a
the.
100 plus pounds, and
Okay,
I put four 52-volt batteries on that bad boy and then rode out without any wobble at all. Like pushing damn near 100 amp hours for no reason other than to say I did it. And that bike was steady as she went. I
I
could
had
put a
to take
battery
my
weight
rack
anywhere
off.
on that. Yeah. That rack was the bomb.
I
And
had I had to
70
lean the
pounds.
bike angular so I could just step on the damn thing because that rack was so long.
It
But
was an
Chris,
impractical step through though. I do know the model step through because it had
I had the
the
mid.
high crossbar dip. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Chris and Tyler, are either one of you guys going to CES? I know Matt and I are.
I don't know. I mean, Hey Bike was asking me if I was going to go or not. But are there enough e-bike companies there to warrant a trip? Have you guys been there before?
I've never been there before. My buddy Mike Hyde from Electric Revolution, right? Uh, he's going, and he saw a lot of stuff last year. Now I've already been invited by Hey Bike, Segway. Um,
So guys,
Segway's got some cool stuff coming out next year. Uh, I know I'm going to see probably Velotrek. I don't think Aventon's going to be there this year, which is funny because they're coming out with a ton of bikes next year. Um,
yeah, just I'm getting one of the new ones too. They just emailed me.
yeah, yeah, it's probably the same one I already have. Um, then yeah, I think there is because I mean I've had a lot of companies ask me like, "Oh, are you coming out to CES?" I don't really know. We're not coming out for all 3 days because like the first day is nothing but just like where you're like in a big conference room and like NVIDIA is talking about all the cool stuff and it's a lot of it has to do. It's not all bikes, so You know, it's all kinds of stuff. So we're going to see, you know, like Teslas out there, or I figured the new Rivian also bike's going to be out there. So I'd like to get to take a look at that.
Oh, that thing, yep.
You know, so
TNT.
it's not going to be just 100% like e-bikes out there, but I like techie stuff. So, you know, I want to do it at least one time for the experience of it to see if it's going to be worth it for me to go out again. But I do know that I am scheduled to do, well, Matt and I, he's tagging along, will be scheduled to do some actual riding of some bikes, which is off-site. So I got the invite on that to get to do that as well.
Scott twisted my arm. You know, when I said, fine, I'll go. You
Yeah,
know,
that's how that
yeah.
went, huh? Okay, because he's like, "Are you going to CES?" I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Can I come?"
Are you even telling bedtime stories like you did Tim?
Maybe.
Been forewarned. Yeah.
It's amazing what a couple of things of apple juice and a back rub will do. Loosen that guy right up.
Jeez.
Cracked up.
Well,
Mhm.
I don't think I'll probably end up going out to CES. I did go to the Electrify Expo in New York City this year, and that was fun and all, but I don't know, unless I get like a good experience to like really try out a bike, like go on an extended ride on one of them, I don't really feel like it's worth it because you can have impressions from a bike from like a couple minutes riding on it, but it's usually not enough to really like say whether you can truly recommend it or not. I feel like that takes more time. So I don't really love the trade show stuff. I mean, it's fun to see the newest stuff, but I like getting my hands actually on the product and testing it.
Well, yeah, I won't be recommending anything. I'll be just like, "Hey, look at this new tech," and then the goal would be like, "Okay, I've taken a look at this. Do you want me to review it?" You know,
Hmm.
so that's one of the things too about going to CES. I might run into some brands that I don't have a relationship with that I might be able to build one.
Tyler, how old are you?
You ask me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm 29.
I wish I had a 29-year-old
The new
body.
kid on the block, yeah.
I
Yeah,
know. I'm envious. I want to be able to like physically do things that I think about doing. There's a lot of stuff that in my head I'll while out, but the best
Both,
you're going to
both
get
you
from
guys
me
that
is
come to
high
CT,
speed.
we have a lot of e-bike channels up here.
Yeah,
So we got plenty of e-bikes for you guys to ride. So come on up.
Yeah.
definitely need to try that. Well, I've been scoping your channel while we're sitting here talking, just going through all of it and just checking as we're talking about it. I'm just like, man, I need to be riding like that.
Yeah, I mean, I my channel is definitely a little bit different than some of your guys. I don't really focus so much on the reviews. I just like toys and thrashing them. So, it's kind of
Mhm.
what I tried to set up my channel to be about, and not necessarily all e-bikes. I like all different kinds of stuff. So,
Yeah. How are you liking did I see you got a Lightning? A Ford Lightning? Is that
yeah, I
right?
just got that a couple
How do
weeks
you like
ago.
it?
It's absolutely amazing. Like it's like a supercar in a truck chassis. Like I can't even describe to you how fast that thing is in real world. Like it's super smooth, it's quiet. I have solar, so it doesn't cost me basically anything to fuel it up, and it's got a 0 to 60 in 4 seconds, being a
Right.
almost 7,000 pound truck. So it's a pretty wild experience.
Have you range tested it yet? What's the range on it?
Um, so
Mm.
I have the very first week I had it, I actually brought it up to Vermont during the snow, and I was getting like I'd say like 160 miles of range, but that's doing like 70, 75 on the highway over mountains in freezing temperatures and stuff. So, um, I also noticed that highway wise, it's way less efficient. Like if you're driving around town, I'd probably get 2.4, 2.5 miles per kilowatt. And on the highway, I get like 1.5.
Yeah.
So,
Well, even now in winter too, you're gonna get less because of the cold temps as well. So my Ford Maverick Hybrid, I lose like 4 or 5 mpg in the winter months versus the spring, summer, and fall. So
mhm.
Well, Tyler, what you need to do is just do how we do it with e-bikes, man. Just take the battery out of that truck and just put it inside your house during the winter
It'll be
months,
fine. Everything's
and then just
fine.
and then just
Yeah.
install it right before you go for a ride.
yeah,
Yep, I can definitely move that 98 kilowatt hour battery around.
Yeah.
Get a
Just
battery wrap.
sleep
Just
on
wrap
it.
it in
It'll be
Velcro
fine.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Strap it
You know,
in.
I'm sure Matt can figure out how to
Yeah,
strap
we'll
another
figure this
battery to
out.
that thing.
Look, I
Yeah.
got zip ties for days, bro. We'll be fine.
We'll put two wheels on it, stand it up on the side, we'll make a bike out of it.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Well, this has been great catching up with you guys. Let's wrap it up as we end a Saturday afternoons here, so we can get back to riding e-bikes. But the last question for you all is, what's your first video of 2026 going to be? Who's going to go first?
I'll tell you what I want mine to be. I don't know if it's going to be.
All right, Scott, what do you got?
I want to do a 3-state winter ride where
Crazy.
I try to make it to the cabin. I have a bike for
In a
that.
snowstorm, I hope.
Huh?
In a
That's what
snowstorm,
I'm
I
saying.
hope.
Yes, he's probably begging for it.
I
He's
mean,
scheduled around this. No, not
I'm not,
around, into the snowstorm. Like,
yeah, I'm not
it's
opposed. I'm not
ridiculous.
opposed to it. Um, I've got the bike I have the Walkie H9, the all-wheel drive one, but mine's 82 volts because it has the 60 volt on the back, and then I have the 22 frame battery as well. So maybe that's amperes. That's not 82 volts. I don't know. I get it mixed up, but whatever. I look good on paper. Yeah, I can read it off on paper really well. So but I'm like, that bike will make it.
Yeah, I think it
And
would.
it's all-wheel drive, but it becomes a serious, like, can I make it though? Right? That's the thing. Like,
Yeah,
can I actually survive this
yeah,
this deal?
yeah,
So
So
Scott. Can you make it?
when you did
What
it
are
with the
you trying to
expedition, how long
do?
did it take you? I forget. Was it the whole day? Like to
yeah,
get out?
no, I'll be well in the wintertime it'd probably be slower because I'm gonna have like messed up roads and stuff. So it'll take a good 8 hours of riding. So I mean, there's no way I'm gonna make it all in daylight either.
Oh yeah,
Um,
it's
so because it gets dark around here pretty soon. So the question is, will my equipment freeze up? Will I freeze up? But I'm just interested. Look, I never said I was smart, but I am pretty tough, right? So I just think something like that would be interesting. I don't know if anybody's attempted it. And so I'm hoping that will be the first one. If not, it'll be some kind of review on an e-bike.
Don't die. Rule one. You
yeah.
just don't die. Thank goodness.
Mine's gonna be I'm working on a wish list for features I want on e-bikes in 2026. So I think I have 6 or 7 of those. That'll be my first one, I believe. What about you, Matt?
So, a wish list video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
feature wish list.
I think the XP Trike 2, the 750, or if it depends on the cycle of products and how they arrive. I am waiting on dual crown forks and headlights similar to the E-cells kit for wired, and then also am waiting on the 100 by 2 dual battery discharge balancer that is fit for the wired Predator, which hopefully we'll be able to price right so we can use it across an assortment of stuff. And that will be coupled with, as an accessory item, a USB adapter that can accept a range from 12 to 72 volts. And then it'll have USB-C output and USB output, USB-B, is that right? For the connection, which is something that's really been asked for. Plus, we have a Switch, but I think I'll probably knock that out this weekend, at least a test ride for a Switch. And then the Ranger's coming as well. I have a plethora of options, and it's probably just going to be as it comes, highly dependent on the weather now. So
Right,
Yeah.
you're our chief engineering officer of the e-bike world, Matt. So kudos to you.
it's just curiosity. I think, Tyler, I feel like you and I would get along swimmingly, to be quite
Oh, I
honest.
think so.
Tyler, what are you working on?
Honestly, I have no idea what I'm gonna release. I'm thinking about just going through all of the vehicles I currently have in my collection and just showing what state they're in and kind of ask my viewers what they want to see more of because I have like 10 bikes, 2 cars, and a mini Jeep now to make videos on. So uh,
Nice.
should be interesting.
All right, guys. Well, appreciate you all joining us, and good to see your faces again. Hopefully, we reconnect in the new year. And yeah, definitely come on up to CT, guys.
Ugh.
I'm gonna have to wait for that sun to come out. I'm not gonna lie.
I got some heated grips for you, Matt, right here.
Like, it's better if I send the invitation and come on down here. Y'all come down here. I got enough bikes to ride.
Might come down there too, you know.
All right, for sure.
Well, thanks for watching, everybody, and hit that like button, hit subscribe, follow Electric All Wheel, Tyler's Trail Rides, and Scott Hardesty. Guys, thanks a lot.
Thanks,
you.
Chris.
Thanks for having us, Chris.
Be out.
Thank you. Bye.